So let me get this straight. You had Just for Sidekicks, Games Ponies Play, Flight to the Finish, and Rainbow Falls with all the ads that talk about the equestrian games, all amounting to another Spike episode?
All aboard the overreaction train!
Fuck!
We dedicate 4 episodes to building up the Equestria game, and when we finally get to it, we don't even focus on the game!
Okay, to all the detractors, let me ask you a question. What were you expecting? It's supposed to be this fucking Equestria game! There could have been events and plotlines that we had already seen in earlier episodes with characters demonstrably flanderized with their entire defining traits forgotten. Yes, those were my problems with Rainbow Falls. Okay, ignoring that we actually got that stuff, this is a show about relationships and characters, not fueling some fans' headcanons. Yes, the lore of the world is interesting, but that's not the main reason why this show is so great.
What was the point? What was the goddamn point? All the build-up, all the advertising, and all the tension of this so-called arc since Season 3, you centered on Spike. Who the fuck thought that this was a bright idea? I'm not even disappointed here. I feel cheated. Needless to say, upon watching this episode, I was very pissed off. The fact that you had multiple episodes to what we thought was going to be a big episode of what it was going to be about resulted in something completely irrelevant. This is by no surprise that caused such an uproar in the fandom. I mean, imagine walking into a diner and you're convinced by the waiter to pick an order of what looks like a juicy steak dinner. So you make the order, you wait roughly an hour, which would obviously make any customer impatient. And in the end, your dish turns out to be a puny tuna sandwich. Really? This is all I got? This is what I paid for? The point is, this is what happens when you add too much build-up. Especially starting this arc from the remains of Season 3, you should have been aware of the repercussions ahead of time, DHX. What were you thinking? Why did this exist? What was the point? I demand an answer to this. Until then, the only thing I can do is judge the episode accountable for what it is, because dwelling on an episode of what it isn't won't do any justice except be a rant and a review. So yeah, it's another Spike episode, but not only that, we got another episode about his confidence regained just like with Power Ponies and Owlswell that ends well. Did the staff not learn their lesson here? Could this episode be any worse? The short answer? No. In fact, this episode did a better job than all the other episodes that had the same plot. Much better than I originally gave it credit for when I posted my feelings on DeviantArt. Apparently a lot of people found this to be the best Spike episode, but yeah, I'm sticking with the inspiration manifestation for his arc progression than the same repetition. But I'm getting too ahead of myself here. The Equestria Games begins with a scene before the opening as we're all given the contestants getting ready for the big event. Yeah, don't let that fool you, that's not really the main focus here. At the arrival of the Crystal Empire, Spike is taken to the castle and he is practically worshipped like a god for saving the Empire. In addition, he's elected to do the honors of lighting the stadium torch. Unfortunately, because of his unexpected stage fright, he has trouble breathing fire to light up the torch, so Twilight insists with her magic while she's in the crowd. Spike, however, is unsure of what happened.
I was afraid you'd be upset.
Upset? Are you kidding? Why would I be upset to discover I can light fire with my mind?
That was stupid. How did you come to that conclusion? This led me to believe that the episode had the having an ability to do something when in actuality you don't plot. It's like some pointing to watch over me again when the plot was indecisive of whether or not it was about self-independence. Note to the staff, can you please stay on topic on what the episode is about? Make up your mind! Twilight thankfully tells Spike the truth, but it apparently impacts him negatively. This could have been fine without the whole lighting fire telekinesis joke that appeared completely left field and still have the same impact. So he tries to make up for the loss by singing for the anthem of what he thought was the Crystal Empire, when it was actually the Cloudsdale anthem because they were the winners. This leads me to my second issue. This scene made me cringe so bad I still fast forward the scene. In case it wasn't obvious, I hate it when a character goes to embarrass themselves when they know what's coming to them. It's like that scene in Finding Nemo when Dory was trying to communicate with the whales. It wasn't funny, it wasn't cute, it was annoying. Many have argued that this was supposed to be a cringeworthy experience in order for us to have feelings for Spike. In that case, don't you think it's a little mean-spirited that no one steps in to offer support for the almighty Spike? Even more so, it went on for too long. Now thankfully, these are the only two major complaints that I have. There are nitpicks I do have, like how there's a unicorn security system that disables magic, and Twilight's somehow able to use hers to light the torch, but that's beyond the point of the boundaries critique in the episode. So because of that performance, Spike feels even more impacted than ever before. Twilight, however, gets Spike to continue to be at the games as the final round is an Ice Arch tournament. Accidentally, one of the members shoots an arrow in the sky and turns a huge cloud into a ball of ice, becoming a huge hazard as it falls down the stadium. With Spike in hand, he makes his entrance and burns out the ice cloud with his fire breath, becoming one of the most epic moments I've seen. The episode ends with a rather well-told moral about how you can be your own worst critic, but letting go of your past mistakes and listening to others that praise you and what you've done can make you feel better. Everyone has their own feelings on what they feel they've accomplished, but those around you who tell you and what you've done for the better allows having an open mind. This alone makes up for the problems I had with the two embarrassing scenes, because these scenes demonstrated how Spike's intentions can get the best out of him. In his other episodes, he moaned and complained about himself, but here, he tries his best and feels the impacts on his failures. That to me is a better approach when displaying a confidence regained formula. I just feel they could have been done better, and it's a real pity it was used here with all the hype of the games behind it, which clouded a majority of us with frustration, including myself. I still feel ripped by all the build-up and cheated by the final results, but as a Spike episode on its own, it does well enough to earn a good reputation for those who like it otherwise. That being said, let there be a lesson to DHX when it comes to making an arc. Never, ever, ever make an arc like this again. Be aware of what the viewers are thinking. Not following what they want, but at least be aware. With all that said, does this arc affect the rest of the season? No, because this wasn't the main arc, and the episode wasn't the finale. That's the only thing left to talk about now. How will this conclude the season? What's the final result? Until then, stay tuned as I conclude the season. And I don't want to talk about this episode ever again.